New York City doesn't usually make tornado headlines. This week, it did twice, at the same time. A tornado warning was issued for Queens as severe thunderstorms tore through the city Thursday evening. And out over the water, two waterspouts formed and came ashore, one in the Rockaways, one in Atlantic Beach on Long Island, where it slammed into a beach club hard enough that the county declared a state of emergency. Meanwhile, underground, the city's subway system was flooding in real time, with entire train lines suspended as crews pumped water off the tracks. Here's the part almost nobody is talking about. Tornadoes in New York City used to be treated as a genuine rarity. That's changing, and this week is part of the pattern. No guessing, no dramatizing, just the facts, the science, and the real stakes. Let's get into it. The storm. Warnings, waterspouts, and a beach club destroyed. Thursday evening, the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for parts of Queens as severe thunderstorms swept through New York City, bringing heavy rain and widespread flooding-related traffic delays. New York City emergency. Management urged residents in the affected area to shelter immediately, move to a lower floor, and stay away from windows. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani reinforced that guidance directly, specifically warning people not to shelter in actively flooding basements. Out over the water, the storm produced two separate waterspouts, rotating columns of air and water that form over open water, the same way a tornado forms over land. The National Weather Service confirmed both came ashore, the first in the eastern Rockaways in southern Queens, the second in Atlantic Beach in Nassau County. The Atlantic Beach waterspout caused real, lasting damage. It struck the Sun and Surf Beach Club hard enough that Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman declared a state of emergency in response. As of Friday morning, the National Weather Service said it hadn't yet received formal damage reports, meaning the full scale of what happened at the beach club was still being assessed, even as the emergency declaration was already in place. While the tornado warning and waterspouts were the most visually dramatic part of the story, the flooding that came with the storm caused arguably more widespread disruption. Heavy rain overwhelmed parts of New York City's subway system, forcing the MTA to suspend C-train service entirely while crews worked to pump water off the tracks near Utica Avenue. E-trains ran with delays in both directions after water was removed from tracks near the World Trade Center. A train service saw severe delays, and riders on the 1, 2, D, and F lines also dealt with lingering disruptions. Above ground, major roadways became impassable. The Brooklyn-Queens Expressway closed in both directions at Queens Boulevard. The Long Island Expressway closed in both directions at Francis Lewis Boulevard. Flooding-related delays hit the Grand Central Parkway and the Jackie Robinson Parkway as well, with drivers on the Van Wyck Expressway and Long Island Expressway posting video of significant standing water. By early Friday morning, roughly 2,000 Long Island customers remained without power. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever experienced a tornado warning or flash flooding somewhere you didn't expect it? If you want more fact-checked breakdowns of disasters as they unfold, subscribe to the channel. It's free, and hitting like genuinely helps this reach more people. Let's push for 5,000 likes on this one. It's a reasonable question. How does a tornado warning end up over Queens? A place most people associate with subways and row houses, not funnel clouds. The mechanism is actually straightforward. Waterspouts form when relatively cool, unstable air moves over warmer ocean or bay water, creating the kind of rising, rotating air. Currents that can organize into a spinning column extending from the water surface up into the storm cloud above it. When a waterspout of this type moves from open water onto land, it's generally reclassified as a tornado, since at that point it's behaving the same way a traditional land-based tornado does, just with a different origin story. New York City's location, surrounded by relatively warm coastal and bay waters, particularly in late summer when ocean temperatures peak, creates conditions that can support this kind of waterspout formation more often than most people realize. What makes an event like this genuinely dangerous is less about the strength of any single waterspout and more about the fact that forming and making landfall directly adjacent to some of the most densely populated coastline in the United States, giving very little room between waterspout over the ocean and a tornado hitting a beach club full of people in terms of both distance and warning time. This week's storm doesn't stand entirely alone in New York City's recent weather history. The city has experienced tornadoes and tornado warnings with increasing regularity over the past 2 decades, a shift from a period when a New York City tornado was treated as a genuine headline-worthy rarity. Severe flash flooding events overwhelming the subway system have also become a recurring late summer story for the city, driven by increasingly intense short rainfall events that can outpace what the century-old subway drainage infrastructure was originally designed to handle. Meteorologists studying this trend point to warming coastal and bay waters as part of the underlying mechanism, similar to the broader pattern behind increasingly intense rainfall events seen elsewhere this year. Warmer water and warmer air can hold and release more energy and moisture when a storm does form, whether that shows up as a waterspout off Long Island or a downpour that outpaces subway drainage in a matter of minutes. Nassau County officials are continuing to assess the extent of the damage at the Sun and Surf Beach Club and surrounding areas under the declared state of emergency, with a formal briefing expected from County Executive Blakeman. The MTA continues working to fully restore normal service across affected subway lines as pumping and inspection work wraps up. Power crews are working to restore service to the remaining Long Island customers still without electricity. The National Weather Service is continuing to review radar and damage data to formally confirm the strength and exact path of both waterspouts. There's something genuinely disorienting about watching footage of a funnel cloud spinning off the coast of a beach most New Yorkers associate with a quiet summer weekend, or seeing subway workers wading through floodwater on tracks millions of people ride through every single day without a second thought. New York City wasn't built with tornado warnings and waterspouts in mind. Increasingly, it may need to be. Subscribe so you don't miss the next update on this story. Leave that comment below. Have you ever experienced a tornado warning?